ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ शांति शांति शांतिः. Namaskar my dear friends. This is 8th video on Inspired Talks by Swami Vivekananda. Last video number 7, the last paragraph was once you find the hidden object in a puzzle picture, you see it evermore. So when once you are free and stainless, you see only freedom and purity in the world around. That moment all the knots of the heart are cut asunder, all crooked places are made straight, and this world vanishes as a dream. And when we awake, we wonder how we ever came to dream such stress. Now starts the video number 8. Getting home, misery mountain high has no power to move the soul. With the axe of knowledge cut the wheels asunder, and the Atma stands free, even though the old momentum carries on the wheel of mind and body. The wheel can now only go straight and can only do good. If that body does anything bad, know that the man is not Jivan Mukta. He lies if he makes that claim. But it is only when the wheels have got a good state motion from cleansing the mind that the axe can be applied. All purifying action deals conscious or unconscious blows on delusion. To call another a sinner is the worst thing you can do. Good action done ignorantly produces the same result and helps to break the bondage. To identify the sun with the spots on the object's glass is the fundamental error. Know the sun, the eye, to be ever unaffected by anything, and devote yourself to cleansing the spots. Man is the greatest being that ever can be. The highest worship there is to worship man as Krishna, Buddha, Christ. What you wait, you create. Get rid of desire. The angels and the departed are all here, seeing this world as heaven. The same axe is seen by all according to their mental attitude. The best vision to be had of the axe is here on this earth. Never want to go to heaven, that is the worst delusion. Even here too, much wealth and grinding poverty are both bondages and hold us back from religion. 3 great gifts we have. First, a human body. The human mind is the nearest reflection of God. We are His own image. Second, the desire to be free. Third, the help of a noble soul who has crossed the ocean of delusion as a teacher. When you have these 3, bless the Lord, you are sure to be free. What you only grasp intellectually may be overthrown by a new argument, but what you realize is your forever. Talking, religion is but little good. Put God behind everything, man, animal, food, work, make this a habit. Ingersoll once said to me, I believe in making the most out of this world, in squeezing the orange dry, because this world is all we are sure of. I replied, I know a better way to squeeze the orange of this world than you do, and I get more out of it. I know I cannot die, so I am not in a hurry. I know there is no fear, so I enjoy the squeezing. I have no duty, no bondage of wife and children and property. I can love all men and women. Everyone is God to me. Think of the joy of loving man as God. Squeeze your orange this way and get 10,000 fold more out of it. Get every single drop. That which seems to be the will is the Atma behind. It is really free. Monday afternoon. Jesus was imperfect because he did not live up fully to his own ideal, and above all because he did not give woman a place equal to man. Women did everything for him, and yet he was so bound by the Jewish custom that not one was made an apostle. Still, he was the greatest character next to Buddha, who in his turn was not fully perfect. Buddha, however, recognized women's right to an equal place in religion, and his first and one of his greatest disciples was his own wife, who became the head of the whole Buddhistic movement among the women of India. But we ought not to criticize these great ones, we should only look upon them as far above ourselves. Nonetheless, we must not pin our faith to any man. However great, we too must become Buddha and Christ. No man should be judged by his defects. The great virtues a man has are his, especially his errors are the common weaknesses of humanity and should never be counted in estimating his character. Veera, the Sanskrit word for heroic, is the origin of our word virtue. Because in ancient times the best fighter was regarded as the most virtuous man. Tuesday, July 30th. Christ and Buddhas are simply occasions upon which to objectify our own inner powers. We really answer our own prayers. It is blasphemy to think that if Jesus had never been born, humanity would not have been saved. It is horrible to thus forget the divinity in human nature, a divinity that must come out. Never forget the glory of human nature. We are the greatest God that ever was or ever will be. Christ and Buddhas are but waves on the boundless ocean which I am. Bow down to nothing but your own highest self. Until you know that you are that very God of gods, there will never be any freedom for you. All our past actions are really good because they lead us to what we ultimately become. Of whom to beg. I am the real existence and all else is a dream save as it is I. I am the whole ocean. Do not call the little wave you have made I. Know it for nothing but a wave. Satyakama, lover of truth, heard the inner voice telling him, you are the infinite. The universal is in you. Control yourself and listen to the voice of your true self. The great prophets who do the fighting have to be less perfect than those who live silent lives of holiness, thinking great thoughts and so helping the world. These men, passing out one after another, produce as final outcome the man of power who preaches. Knowledge exists, man only discovers it. The Vedas are this eternal knowledge through which God created the world. They talk high philosophy, the highest, and make this tremendous claim. Tell the truth boldly, whether it hurts or not. Never ponder to weakness. If truth is too much for intelligent people and sweeps them away, let them go. The sooner the better. Childish ideas are for babies and savages, and these are not all in the nursery and the forest. Some of them have fallen into the pulpits. It is bad to stay in the church after you are grown up spiritually. Come out and die in the open air of freedom. All progression is in the relative world. The human form is the highest and man the greatest being, because here and now we can get rid of the relative world entirely, can actually attain freedom, and this is the goal. Not only we can, but some have reached perfection, so no matter what finer bodies come, they could only be on the relative plane and could do no more than we, for to attain freedom is all that can be done. The angels never do wicked deeds, so they never get punished and never get saved. Blows are what awaken us and help us to break the dream. They show us the insufficiency of this world and make us long to escape to have freedom. A thing dimly perceived we call by one name, the same thing when fully perceived we call by another. The higher the moral nature, the higher the perception and the stronger the will. Tuesday afternoon, the reason of the harmony between thought and matter is because they are two sides of one thing called text, which divides itself into the internal and the external. The English word paradise comes from the Sanskrit paradesa, which was taken over into the Persian language and means literally beyond the land, or really the land beyond, or the other world. The old Aryans always believed in a soul, never that man was the body. Their heavens and hells were all temporary, because no effect can outlast its cause, and no cause is eternal. Therefore, all effects must come to an end. The whole of the Vedanta philosophy is in this story. Two birds of golden plumage sat on the same tree. The one above, serene, majestic, immersed in his own glory. The one below, restless and eating the fruits of the tree, now sweet, now bitter. Once he ate an exceptionally bitter fruit, then he paused and looked up at the majestic bird above, but he soon forgot about the other bird and went on eating the fruits of the tree as before. Again he ate a bitter fruit, and this time he hopped up a few boughs nearer to the bird at the top. This happened many times until at last the lower bird came to the place of the upper bird and lost himself. He found all at once that there had never been two birds, but that he all the time was that upper bird, serene, majestic, and immersed in his own glory. Wednesday, July 31st. Luther drove a nail into religion when he took away renunciation and gave us morality instead. Atheists and materialists can have ethics, but only believers in the Lord can have religion. The wicked pay the price of the great soul's holiness. Think of that when you see a wicked man. Just as the poor man's labor pays for the rich man's luxury, so is it in the spiritual world. The terrible degradation of the masses in India is the price nature pays for the production of great souls like Mirabai, Buddha, etc. I am the holiness of the Holy Gita. I am the root. Each uses it in his own way, but all is I. I do everything, you are but the occasion. Do not talk much, but feel the spirit within you, then you are a jnani. This is knowledge. All else is ignorance. All that is to be known is Brahma. It is the all. Sattva binds through the search for happiness and knowledge. Rajas binds through desire. Tamas binds through wrong perception and laziness. Conquer the two lower by sattva and then give up all to the Lord and be free. The Bhakti Yoga realizes Brahma very soon and goes beyond the three qualities. The will, the consciousness, the senses, the desire, the passions, all these combined make what we call the soul. There is first the apparent self, body, second the mental self, who mistakes the body for himself, the absolute bound by Maya, third the Atma, the ever pure, the ever free. Seen partially, it is nature. Seen wholly, all nature goes. Even the memory of it is lost. There is the changeable, mortal, the eternally changeable nature and the unchangeable Atma. Be perfectly hopeless, that is the highest state. What is there to hope for? Burst asunder the bonds of hope. Stand on yourself. Be at rest. Never mind what you do. Give up all to God, but have no hypocrisy about it. Swastha, the Sanskrit word for standing on your own self, is used colloquially in India to inquire, are you well, are you happy? And when Hindus would express, I saw a thing, they say, I saw a word meaning, padartha. Even this universe is a word meaning. A perfect man's body mechanically does right. It can do only good because it is fully purified. The past momentum that carries on the wheel of body is all good. All evil tendencies are burnt out. That day is indeed a bad day when we do not speak of the Lord, not a stormy day. Only love for the Supreme Lord is true bhakti. Love for any other being, however great, is not bhakti. The Supreme Lord here means Ishvara, the concept of which transcends what you in the West mean by personal God. He from whom this universe proceeds, in whom it rests and to whom it returns. He is Ishvara, the eternal, the pure, the all-merciful, the almighty, the ever-free and all-knowing, the teacher of all teachers, the Lord who of his own nature is inexpressible love. Man does not manufacture God out of his own brain, but he can only see God in the light of his own capacity, and he attributes to him the best of all he knows. Each attribute is the whole of God, and this signifying the whole by one quality is the metaphysical explanation of the personal God. Ishvara is without form yet has all form, is without qualities yet has all qualities. As human beings, we have to see the trinity of existence, God, man, nature, and we cannot do otherwise. But for the Bhakta, all these philosophical distinctions are mere idle talk. He cares nothing for argument, he does not reason, he senses, he perceives. He wants to lose himself in pure love of God, and there have been bhaktas who maintain that this is more to be desired than liberation, who say, I do not want to be sugar, I want to taste sugar, I want to love and enjoy the beloved. In Bhakti Yoga, the first essential is to want God honestly and intentionally. We want everything but God because our ordinary desires are fulfilled by the external world. So long as our needs are confined within the limits of the physical universe, we do not feel any need for God. It is only when we have had hard blows in our lives and are disappointed with everything here that we feel the need for something higher than we seek God. Bhakti is not destructive, it teaches that all our faculties may become means to reach salvation. We must turn them all towards God and give to Him that love which is usually wasted on the fleeting objects of senses. Bhakti differs from your Western idea of religion in that bhakti admits no element of fear, no being to be appeased or propitiated. There are even bhaktas who worship God as their own child, so that there may remain no feeling even of awe or reverence. There can be no fear in true love, and so long as there is the least fear, bhakti cannot even begin. In bhakti, there is also no place for begging or bargaining with God. The idea of asking God for anything is sacrilege to a bhakta. He will not pray for health or wealth or even to go to heaven. One who wants to love God, to be a bhakta, must make a bundle of all these desires and leave them outside the door and then enter. He who wants to enter the realms of light must make a bundle of all shopkeeping, religion, and cast it away before he can pass the gates. It is not that you do not get what you pray for. You get everything, but it is low, vulgar, a beggar's religion. Fool indeed is he who, living on the banks of the Ganges, digs a little well for water. Fool indeed is the man who, coming to a mine of diamonds, begin to search for glass beads. These prayers for health and wealth and material prosperity are not bhakti. They are the lowest form of karma. Bhakti is a higher thing. We are striving to come into the presence of the King of Kings. We cannot get there in a beggar's dress. If we wanted to enter the presence of an emperor, would we be admitted in beggar's rags? Certainly not. The lackey would drive us out of the gates. This is the emperor of emperors, and never can we come before him in beggar's garb. Shopkeepers never have admissions there. Buying and selling will not do there at all. You read in the Bible that Jesus drove the buyers and sellers out of the temple. So it goes without saying that the first task in becoming a bhakta is to give up all desires of heaven and so on. Such a heaven would be like this place, this earth, only little better. The Christian idea of heaven is a place of intensified enjoyment. How can that be God? All this desire to go to heaven is a desire for enjoyment. This has to be given up. The love of the bhakta must be absolutely pure and unselfish, seeking nothing for itself either here or hereafter, giving up the desire of pleasure and pain, gain or loss. Worship God day and night. Not a moment is to be lost in vain. Giving up all other thoughts, the whole mind day and night worships God. Thus, being worshipped day and night, he reveals himself and makes his worshippers feel him. Thursday, August fast. The real Guru is the one through whom we have our spiritual descent. He is the channel through which the spiritual current flows to us, the link which joins us to the whole spiritual world. Too much faith in personality has a tendency to produce weakness and idolatry. But intense love for the Guru makes rapid growth possible. He connects us with the internal Guru. Adore your Guru if there be real truth in him. That Guru Bhakti, devotion to the teacher, will quickly lead you to the highest. Sri Ramakrishna's purity was that of a baby. He never touched money in his life, and lust was absolutely annihilated in him. Do not go to great religious teachers to learn physical science. Their whole energy has gone to the spiritual. In Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the man was all dead and only God remained. He actually could not see sin. He was literally of pure eyes than to behold iniquity. The purity of these few Paramahansas is all that holds the world together. If they should all die out and leave it, the world would go to the pieces. They do good by simply being, and they know it not, they just are. Books suggest the inner light and the method of bringing that out, but we can only understand them when we have earned the knowledge ourselves. When the inner light has flashed before you, let the books go and look only within. You have in you all and 1,000 times more than is in all the books. Never lose faith in yourself. You can do anything in this universe. Never weaken. All power is yours. If religion and life depend upon books or upon the existence of any prophet whatsoever, then perish all religion and books. Religion is in us. No books or teachers can do more than help us to find it, and even without them we can get all truth within. Yet have gratitude to books and teachers without bondage to them, and worship your Guru as God, but do not obey him blindly. Love him all you will, but think for yourself. No blind belief can save you. Work out your own salvation. Have only one idea of God, that he is an eternal help. Freedom and highest love must go together. Then neither can become a bondage. We can give nothing to God. He gives all to us. He is the Guru of Gurus. Then we find that he is the soul of our souls, our very self. No wonder we love him. He is the soul of our souls. Whom or what else can we love? We want to be the steady flame burning without heat and without smoke. To whom can you do good when you see only God? You cannot do good to God. All doubt goes, all is sameness. If you do good at all, you do it to yourself. Feel that the receiver is the higher one. You serve the other because you are lower than he, nor because he is low and you are higher. Give as the rose gives perfume, because it is its own nature, utterly unconscious of giving. The great Hindu reformer Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a wonderful example of this unselfish work. He devoted his whole life to helping India. It was he who stopped the burning of widows. It is usually believed that this reform was due entirely to the English, but it was Raja Ram Mohan Roy who started the agitation against the custom and succeeded in obtaining the support of the government in suppressing it. Until he began the movement, the English had done nothing. He also founded the important religious society called the Brahmo Samaj and subscribed $1 lakh to found a university. He then stepped out and told them to go ahead without him. He cared nothing for fame or for results to himself. Thursday afternoon, there are endless series of manifestations like merry-go-rounds in which the souls ride. So to speak, the series are eternal. Individual souls get out, but the events repeat themselves eternally, and that is how one's past and future can be read, because all is really present. When the soul is in a certain chain, it has to go through the experiences of that chain. From one series, souls go to other series. From some series, they escape forever by realizing that they are Brahma. By getting hold of one prominent event in a chain and holding on to it, the whole chain can be dragged in and read. This power is easily acquired, but it is of no real value, and to practice it takes just so much from our spiritual forces. Go not after these things, worship God. Friday, August 2nd. Nishtha, devotion to the one idea. One ideal is the beginning of realization. Take the honey out of all flowers, sit and be friendly with all. Pay reverence to all, say to all, yes brother, but keep firm in your own way. A higher stage is actually to take the position of the other. If I am all, why can I not really and actively sympathize with my brother and see with his eyes? While I am weak, I must stick one course, nishtha, but when I am strong, I can feel with every other and perfectly sympathize with his ideas. The old idea was develop one idea at the expense of all the rest. The modern way is harmonious development. A third way is to develop the mind and control it. Then put it where you will. The rest will come quickly. This is the developing yourself in the truest way. Learn concentration and use it in any direction, thus you lose nothing. He who gets the whole must have the parts too. Dualism is included in Advaitism, monism. I first saw him and he saw me. There was a flash of eye from me to him and from him to me. This went on until the two souls became so closely united that they actually became one. There are two kinds of samadhi. I concentrate on myself, then I concentrate, and there is a unity of subject and object. You must be able to sympathize fully with each particular, then at once to jump back to the highest monism. After having perfected yourself, you limit yourself voluntarily. Take the whole power into each action. Be able to become a dualist for the time being and forget Advaita, yet be able to take it up again at will. Cause and effect is all Maya, and we shall grow to understand that all we see is as disconnected as the child's fairy tales now seem to us. There is really no such thing as cause and effect, and we shall come to know it. Then if you can lower your intellect to let any allegory pass through your mind without questioning about connection, develop love of imagery and beautiful poetry and then enjoy all mythologies as poetry. Come not to mythology with ideas of history and reasoning. Let it flow as a current through your mind. Let it be whirled as a candle before your eyes, without asking who holds the candle, and you will get the circle. The residuum of truth will remain in your mind. The writers of all mythologies wrote in symbols of what they saw and heard. They painted flowing pictures. Do not try to pick out the themes and so destroy the pictures. Take them as they are and let them act on you. Judge them only by the effect and get the good out of them. Your own will is all that answers prayer, only it appears under the guise of different religious conceptions to each mind. We may call it Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, Jivaha, Allah, Agni, but it is only the self, the I. Concepts grow, but there is no historical value in the allegories which present them. Moses' visions are more likely to be wrong than ours are, because we have more knowledge and are less likely to be deceived by illusions. Books are useless to us until our own book opens. Then all other books are good so far as they confirm our book. It is the strong that understands strength. It is the elephant that understands the lion, not the rat. How can we understand Jesus until we are his equals? It is all in the dream to feed 5,000 with 2 loaves, or to feed 2 with 5 loaves. Neither is real and neither affects the other. Only grandeur appreciates grandeur. Only God realizes God. The dream is only the dreamer. It has no other basis. It is not one thing and the dreamer another. The keynote running through the music is I am he, I am he. All other notes are but variations and do not affect the real theme. We are the living books, and books are but the words we have spoken. Everything is the living God, the living Christ. See it as such. Read man, he is the living poem. We are the light that illumines all the Bibles and Christs and Buddhas that ever were. Without that, these would be dead for us, not living. Stand on your own self. The dead body resents nothing. Let us make our bodies dead and cease to identify ourselves with them. Saturday, August 3rd. Individuals who are to get freedom in this life have to live thousands of years in one lifetime. They have to be ahead of their times, but the masses can only crawl. Thus we have Christ and Buddhas. There was once a Hindu queen who so much desired that all her children should attain freedom in this life that she herself took all the care of them. And as she rocked them to sleep, she sang always the one song to them, Tat Tvam Asi, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art, that thou art. 3 of them became sannyasis, but the 4th was taken away to be brought up elsewhere to become a king. As he was leaving home, the mother gave him a piece of paper which he was to read when he grew to manhood. On that piece of paper was written, God alone is true, all else is false. The soul never kills or is killed. Live alone or in the company company of holy ones. When the young prince read this, he too at once renounced the world and became a sannyasi. Giving up, renounce the world. Now we are like dogs strayed into a kitchen and eating a piece of meat, looking around in fear, lest any moment someone may come and drive them out. Instead of that, be a king and know you own the world. This never comes until you give it up and it ceases to bind. Give up mentally if you do not physically. Give up from the heart of your hearts. Have vairagyam, renunciation. This is the real sacrifice, and without it, it is impossible to attain spirituality. Do not desire, for what you desire you get, and with it comes a terrible bondage. It is nothing but bringing noses on us, as in the case of the man who had 3 boons to ask. We never get freedom until we are self-content. Self is the savior of self, none else. A poor man was once able to propitiate a certain god who gave him 3 boons to ask along with 3 throws of dice. The happy man went home and communicated the news of this good luck to his wife, who, full of joy, at once told him to cast for wealth first. To this the man said, "We both have very ugly little noses for which people laugh at us. Let us first cast for beautiful aquiline noses. Wealth cannot remove the deformity of our persons." But the wife was for the wealth first, and so she caught hold of his hand to prevent him from throwing the dice. The man hastily snatched his hand away and at once threw the dice, exclaiming, "Let us both have beautiful noses and nothing but noses." All at once, both their bodies were covered over with many beautiful noses, but they proved such a great nuisance to them that both of them agreed to throw for the second time, asking for their removal. It was done, and also they lost their own little ones by that, and left completely noseless. 2 boons thus they had lost, and in utter dismay they did not know what to do. There was only 1 boon more to ask. Having lost their noses, they looked more ugly than before. They could not even dream of going out in that plight. They wanted to have 2 beautiful noses, but they feared to be questioned about their transformation, lest they should be regarded by all to be 2 big fools who could not mend their circumstances even with the help of 3 boons. So both of them agreed to get back their ugly little noses, and the dice were accordingly cast. This story illustrates the previous sentence, "Do not desire, for what you desire you get, and with it comes a terrible bondage." So, I end this video here. Thank you, my dear friends, for watching and listening this video with patience. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe my channel. Thank you, my dear friends. Namaskar.